and stuff like that. But now I'm not sure I'm on board with men can get pregnant, right? Like you
Yeah.
guys have gone really far left, and it's
But
like,
I think, you know what, man? I think a lot of that is like almost borderline propaganda, like talking points. Like the majority, I know lots of trans people. And
yeah,
a majority of the trans people I've met are like totally level-headed. I think that this is
yes,
some kind of like agenda to
yes,
highlight the most insane people only and not the level-headed majority, right? Like
yes,
the silent majority is being suppressed right now, and all we're seeing is
100%.
the intense right wing and the intense left wing, and there's no conversation about everybody else that's like 99% of the
Right.
people
It's the
in the middle.
loudest. It's the loudest people who purport
That's
to
right.
speak for the rest of their group,
That's right.
and the rest of the group is like, we never asked to put you guys in charge,
Exactly.
right? Like
That's the crux.
I know a gay dude who loves to dress in drag and stuff like that, and he loves it. He does it on like Friday nights, pretty much every Friday night. He goes out. He lives a very promiscuous lifestyle. Like he's an adult and he can do that.
Yeah.
And I've asked him, "What do you think about 8-year-olds in drag?" And he's like, "I think that's ridiculous. I don't think
Well,
8-year-olds."
oh, dude, that's so fucked. Like, for example, my friend, my kid's friend, they're all at the level where they're starting dance class, and
Yeah,
these kids wear like $100 worth of makeup that they have to buy for the fucking season of dance, and it's like these kids are 6,
yeah.
and you're putting makeup on kids. Like, what the hell is that about? Why are we
I
putting
don't get
makeup
it.
on kids? Why are we putting makeup on kids? Why are we putting
Why are we
fancy dresses?
sexualizing children?
Why are we sexualizing children? Exactly. Why is that
Yeah, I don't
happening?
get it. But you know what? If you say 8-year-olds shouldn't dress in drag, there's enough people out there, and a lot of them on Twitter that'll call you transphobic, and a lot
Right.
of people that will say that's hate speech. And in
Right.
Canada, like if you say, I don't think 8-year-olds should dress up in drag, there's a very real possibility that, the word police could, you know,
I just
come
don't
in.
think where I get to it. It's just like I don't even think the kids should be wearing makeup. You know, like any kid. I don't care
No,
if you're a boy. I don't care if
no,
you're a boy, girl, whatever. I don't care what you are. That's just inappropriate as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
You know, and that's where like I don't care. Like if for example, when I was in grade 2, I used to put on this dress in grade 2 class and spin around
yeah.
to make the dress flow up in the air. And one time I got so dizzy I smashed my goddamn head off the table and needed 3 stitches in my head. And then my mom comes. I'm in the nurse's office in elementary school at John Mahood there, and then my mom comes in. I'm wearing a dress. It's covered in blood. She's like, "Oh my god, what is going on here?" Right? So she starts taking me to the doctor. She starts taking me to the doctor. I
Yeah,
got the dress. I'm like, "No, I got to get this dress off." But you know, I don't know, man. Like for example, I'm a big fan of being able to do whatever the fuck you want. If you are a straight man and want to dress up as a woman once in a while, fucking
yeah,
right. If you are a gay male and want to dress up as a woman, fucking right.
yeah,
If you are a woman and want to dress up as a gay man, do whatever the fucking combination is. Do
yeah.
whatever
I
the
don't
hell you
care.
do whatever the hell you want. But you know, my problem is where I'm expected to cater to your wants, and what life is not about catering to other people's wants. It's about doing whatever the
No,
fuck you want. And you know, and if I don't want to, you know, I don't know what to say. This comes back to the start of the conversation where it's like, how do we be rational and kind at the same time? That's really what it's getting down to.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
where you're
It always seemed that liberalism was kind of live and let live. I know that's not kind of good enough for some of the people on the far left. It's live and like affirm us, tell us what we're doing is good, tell us, we're cool, my gender can change, multiple times
and
a day.
a lot of people probably really feel that, and I empathize
Yeah,
for them because it sounds like
yeah,
their life is not very easy. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
sounds like that is a tough thing to deal with.
yeah,
But why do you think that this empathy for it's empathy for like marginalized groups, I
yeah,
guess, which I have. Like I totally have, man. You know, I have
yeah,
schizophrenia. I am in a marginalized group. You're profoundly disabled. We're both in marginalized groups.
yeah,
I like having empathy, but at the same time, I don't want everybody thinking about me. I don't want everybody in the whole world saying, "Let's think about Brendan and what he needs." I just want to fucking do your own thing. Leave me be. I don't want the attention. You know, I don't want that kind of attention. I don't want pity. I don't want fake sympathy. I don't want like fake love. I don't want that shit. Just leave me alone. I'd rather you not think about me. If I'm different than you.
I don't want attention because of my disability. I want attention because of, not necessarily attention, but recognition or respect because of the things I say and the things I do, not because of my characteristics that I have no control over.
Yeah, you don't want to be a disabled smart man. You want to be a smart man who's disabled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Put the person who offers, that's like classic Wolfensberger, dude. That's like social role valorization. Put the person before. That's what I learned in school. Put the person before the disability. And it seems like I'm the only one who fucking listened in that class because everywhere I go, DSWs are talking down to people and making decisions for people. And it's like, no, this guy, the last of his attributes are his disability. Like fucking a guy who likes pizza would be before you say the disability. Anything before the disability, right? And I think that's a problem with society right now. It says let's say
people want
sexual what's it called again? What's it called again? Dysphoria, gender dysphoria. Like I consider that a sickness. That can't be very comfortable. So I look at it as in like I want to describe that person, everything about them before we even talk about that. Right? Because that is the way to validate that person. The way to validate a person is not say the least important thing about them, their sexuality. No. For me, that's not important. I don't really care about your sexuality. I don't really care about your gender identity. I care about what you're going to say to me when I say hello. Why would we care? And
I don't care about your gender identity.
I don't care. No, exactly, right? I just don't care, right? And that's the problem, though. That's the problem. We don't care. That's what their issue is.
I guess. Everyone seems to want to have an identity, like some sort of special one, because without it, they're not enough. Like even parents, they're like my trans kid or my Down syndrome.
Exactly, dude. I run into people with Down syndrome. Oh my god.
Why do you call your own kid my Down syndrome kid?
Yeah, why don't you say this is my son Jim, and he likes hockey. You could probably learn a lot from him because he knows lots of stats. Whatever. There's many things you could say before. Yeah, language is very important, man, and that's the thing.
Yes.
A lot of these people who purport to have the best interest of humanity in mind are doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing, and they should be focusing on the strengths of people. I think that there's no way to get ahead in society if we're focusing on the faults of people. We need to start focusing on the great things.
Or the differences.
The differences, right? Focus on what they're good at. Okay, so you're a trans man, but you got straight A's in high school math. Where are you going to college? What the fuck are we talking about your gender for when you're a brilliant person who's going to change the world with their education? Like, why would we talk about it? Exactly. People need to start focusing on the best things to talk about when you're in a new situation.
About the person's qualities.
Yes,
exactly. Not their characteristics.
Yes, exactly. Qualities, not
like
characteristics.
This is my superfluous third nipple child.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? Yeah.
Wait,
this is my hairy mole on the face child. He's got a hairy mole on his face, so I figured that's how you remember him, right? Jesus Christ.
It's the most inane bullshit ever. Like, I don't give a crap, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I don't care about that stuff. But the problem is the problem lies in our indifference. That they see our indifference as intolerance.
Yeah.
When in fact, our indifference is the most tolerant thing there is. That's the irony of it.
Because we don't give a shit.
Exactly. It's so tolerant that you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you for it until you get in my way and do something stupid that affects my life negatively. Then we're going to have to talk about it. But we're not going to talk about your identity. We're going to talk about the incident that occurred that made me want to confront you. And that's it. That's humanity.
Yeah.
Why can't we just do it?
I'm not denying your existence because I can't remember your 83rd gender this week,
Right.
right?
Right.
Gee, you can give me a break here.
And that once again, I think like what you just said about the 83rd gender, that would be offensive to them. I like for me, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say so. I get what you're saying, and I accept it.
yeah.
But I wouldn't use that type of language just because it wouldn't do any good for us to have, one day have a relationship. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think to me, can you really is it normal?
No, but that's like
There are these
a
things.
micro percent of
I
people.
know exactly, right?
It's like
They
how many
have,
people have multiple personality disorder. There's people. A
yeah,
smaller percentage has a multiple gender, like gender fluidity, and
yeah,
never knowing what gender they feel like. That to me is like that's a unique brain, dude. Like for example, I have schizophrenia, and I find that
yeah.
it gives me like superpowers. To be honest, like I work
There you go.
nights and don't even have to change my sleep schedule. I don't take my pill. I
Yeah,
stay an insomniac and just stay up, and I don't
yeah,
even get tired. You know, there's so many benefits to being sick
yeah.
sometimes. But let's face it. I really think that the brain has evolved in a way that gay and bisexual and that stuff is totally legitimately part of evolution. Like
Yeah.
I really think
Oh yeah.
that the influx of gay people being born is part of nature overcorrecting overpopulation in my mind. Like that's just science as far as I'm concerned. But I really think that people who are born in the wrong body, who feel they've been born in the wrong body, I
Right.
really think that is a mental illness that needs to be treated, but also
Yes.
not be the focus point of their entire existence. Like let's focus
No.
on, okay, so they're transgendered, but they're like a wicked taxidermist.
Yeah.
You should see them do a moose. It's fucking crazy. You know, like why can't
Yeah.
we start putting the person before the disorder? And but then people will look at me and say that, say, oh well, that's not sensitive. And I'm like, I know, it's factual.
Right.
It's not supposed to be sensitive, right? And
And the thing
that's where
is,
we get to the problems.
people with gender dysphoria or whatever, oftentimes, if they're seeking counseling or treatment, maybe that's all they're talking about, right?
They're
And it's
obsessed with it. Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't
right,
you be obsessed with it?
exactly. But for me, anytime I've done counseling in the past, yes, I talk about the quote unquote issue at hand, the issue of the day, but we're talking about other things too in my life, other past things that I haven't necessarily resolved, or things I've been struggling with lately outside of whatever it is, that one issue that made me go see the counselor, right? I think there's this whole holistic way of counseling and therapy that is totally being ignored, where
Yeah.
counselors and therapists are now just affirming of whatever one thing that they got, and maybe that's the right thing to do, maybe it's not, who
Yeah.
knows. But
And maybe
there's a lot of other things that need to be addressed that is not
yes.
being addressed.
Yes. Like, okay, you know what? I'm all for getting sex changes and changing. I'm all for
Yeah.
it. You do whatever you want with your body, but
Yes.
first take
Adult.
care of the illness that has blossomed this
Yes.
difficulty that you're having identifying with yourself. First, go for the root problem. Get therapy
Yeah.
because it's not the way brains are supposed to be made. Like I have schizophrenia. My brain's not normal either. I need help. I need intervention. You know, and then once you get the root of the problem, whether it's abuse or eating disorders or lack of confidence or depression or anxiety or
Yeah.
bipolar or borderline personality disorder, once you figure that out and
Right.
then you manage that and then you decide, well, I still want to chop my dick off, do it as
Yeah.
quick as you can, as quick as you
Yeah.
can. Get that thing rolled up into a little titty or whatever you're gonna do, and do it, and do it,
Yeah.
and do it. You know, like just do
Yeah.
it. But make sure you take care of everything that's wrong
Right.
in your life before you go down something so drastic and
No,
permanently life changing.
I think it's absolutely right, because the sad statistics show that people in that community have really high suicide rates, and the suicide rates are just as high
Untreated depression.
after surgery, and it's because, right, you treated one of the symptoms.
And nothing.
That's
And
all you
nothing from the
did. You
core.
didn't
Nothing from the core.
Right. You didn't treat like you said, depression, anxiety,
Borderline.
BPT, bipolar, whatever else might be going on, it's being ignored because, the outward gender expression is so obvious and so out there that it seems like a quick and obvious fix, but it probably isn't.
No, no. It seems like the end all, like the entire solution. It seems
Yeah,
like that because that is what everything is manifested into. That is a notion that was
yeah,
manifested from several circumstances over a long period of time.
yeah,
And you need to break down, put the person before the disorder, and make sure that you take care of the person by managing the disorders before you attack something so permanently life changing.
yeah.
But once I said, if you get down that road, because a lot of people have regret about changing their body too. Like you,
Oh,
you need
tons.
to be ready for that shit, right?
Yeah,
And as far as like, I don't know, man, like hormone blockers and shit, I'm so in a mess when I think about that. Like, how do I attack that? Like,
yeah,
how do you deal with that? If someone who wants to give a kid hormone blockers, like, fuck,
yeah. That's tough, dude. Because
I don't even know how to
you're
approach that.
making changes to your body that could be irreversible,
And detrimental.
detrimental for sure. Because the drugs, a lot of the drugs used on males that transition, the drugs are similar to the same drugs for chemical castration that they used on criminals and frankly disabled people back in
Right.
the past. So they, for criminals, they would chemically castrate them so they wouldn't get all rapey again.
Right.
And
Right.
then for disabled people, mentally and physical, they were chemically castrated because
So they couldn't create.
God forbid disabled people
Can't
create
create more mongrels. Yeah.
no, God no,
Fuck.
can't have that happen. Because my life is so awful that we can't recreate it.
Yeah, you've had no essence to your life. Your disability has been in the
No,
foreground of your entire existence, your entire time.
well,
You
and
have you
it's
haven't transcended a profound disability whatsoever.
right,
No.
and it's made my life totally worth not living. It's totally made. I wish I was aborted, honestly.
No kidding.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh
uh,
man.